Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about administrative control. So first of all we will know about what is administrative accountability. According to Leonard D. White, accountability is the sum total of constitutional, statutory, administrative and judicial rules and precedents and the established practices by means of which public officials may be held accountable for their official actions. It refers to the formal and specific location of the responsibility vested in a person. While responsibility has a personal and moral connotations, and it is not necessarily related to formal status and power. Accountability is also defined as the answerability of a person in an organization. Then what is meaning of control? Accountability is a kind of management control. Control is the process of ensuring actual activities conform to the established standards and laid down procedures. Control helps managers to monitor the effectiveness of the staffs or lower level managers. The control process is essential for ensuring accountability. Control process is initiated, standards and methods should be established beforehand against which performance has to be measured. This is measured or assessed if the performance matches the laid down standards. If it matches, then it is satisfactory performance, but if it does not match, corrective actions can be taken. Now, this is a general procedure of control and accountability. What are different types of accountability? There are two types of accountability mechanisms that make organization to continue to achieve goals. Internal control. It is exercised either by superior over the subordinates within the chain of the hierarchy or by other parallel agencies in the executive branch of the government. It consists of directing, regulating, supervising, advising, inspecting, and evaluating. It should be continuously done without being felt. This mechanism of accountability has positive result also. Then there is external control, which is fitted outside the administrative machinery and works within the general constitutional framework of the system. It is exercised by external bodies such as legislature and judiciary. Now we will discuss internal control in somewhat detail. Internal control mechanism has some methods like administrative procedures. In a parliamentary system, cabinet stands as the effects of the executive. Prime Minister directs the ministers who are in charge of their respective departments and are responsible for the efficient working to the cabinet and prime minister. The whole working of the departments are reviewed by the prime minister and his cabinet. Hierarchical order. Every administrative department is arranged on a scalar pattern and executives are organized in hierarchical order. The executives are linked with superior subordinates relationship with a clear authority and responsibility. They are accountable to their respective superiors for their actions and dealings. This hierarchy itself is a powerful instrument for monitoring subordinates' behavior and for informing and enforcing accountability. Annual confidential report. The superior officers prepare annual confidential reports ACR of their subordinate every year. The work of whole year of each public servant is assessed. Budgetary control. A budget is not only a complete policy statement of the total activities of the government, but it also reflects the aspirations of the people. The Ministry of Finance prepares budget and operations of the budgetary sanctions and appropriations. Administrative leadership. It is another mean of internal control. Leadership motivates and inspires the employees for efficiency. The morale and motivation of the employees depend upon the leadership. The effective leaders set examples of high standards of integrity and performance for his followers. He inspires them for work and instills in them a pride in work. A good leader is objective oriented and always try his subordinates to achieve the objectives. Now we will discuss about external controls in some more detail. Legislative control. The major instrument of the public accountability is the authority of the legislature to empower, limit, investigate, and censure the executive branch. The legislature enacts laws, authorize administrator to engage in quasi-legislative and quasi-judicial activities, appropriates fund for all the administrative programs, and determines the general activities, appropriate outline of the administrative organizations and procedures. Questions. The first hour of every day sittings of the legislature is known as the question hour. This time is allocated for asking and answering questions. Every legislator, after giving due notice, are entitled to put questions and supplementary questions to the ministers about the state of public administration. The ministers are bound to answer these questions. The purpose of questions is to elicit information on the working of the administrative departments. Resolutions and motions. Resolutions and motions are of the two kind. That is, firstly, those are subject to the censure a particular minister or government as a whole. Secondly, those which recommend some course of action to be adopted. The former leads to dismissal of the government or ministry. The latter is recommendatory. Hence, it may or may not be accepted by the government. Members of the parliament are entitled to pass resolutions on the matter of general public interest. Debates and discussion. Debates and discussions in the House continues. Debates and discussion in the House constitute another important means for controlling the executive. Houses perpetually go on debating one thing or other. Discussions take place over every point of a bill or budget. Every motion comes under discussion in the House. The inaugural address of the President, the budget speech, the introductory speech of the bill for amendment, introduction of a new law, introduction of motion or resolution providing opportunity for debate and discussion in the House. Committees of legislation. Legislatures are unwieldy bodies and they cannot meet for the whole of a year. Hence, they appoint committees of their own members who are specialists in their spheres of activity and keep constant watch over administration. Public Accounts Committee, Committee on Subordinates Legislation, Petitions Committee, Committee on Public Services. These committees gather a lot of material, hear expert evidence, and frame conclusions. Such conclusions, which are formed in the form of recommendations, which correct the tone of the administration by improving efficiency and quality of the work of the civil service. And these recommendations of such committees are then presented in the House for discussion. Methods of executive control. The executive exercise control over administration through different mechanisms like policy making. The chief executive, along with his cabinet, control the administration through policy making. All important policy decisions are taken by cabinet in every country, like India. The department carry on their day-to-day business within the policies laid down by the cabinet. Budgetary control. It is the main responsibility of the chief executive to prepare budget and to present it to the legislature. After the approval by the legislature, the chief executive implements it through the allocation of funds among various departments and control it by proper utilization of the funds. Recruitment system. The third system of executive control works through recruitment of the public personnel. This is usually placed in the hands of independent recruiting agencies like Union Public Service Commission. Then we will discuss about judicial control. Judiciary is one of the important external agency which exercise control over administration. By judicial control, we means the power of courts to keep the decisions and acts of the administrative officials within the bounds of law. L.D. White explains the importance of judicial control and says the system of formal external control officials and their acts. which fall primarily into two divisions that are exercised by the legislative body and that are imposed by the court. The main purpose of the judicial control is to determine the constitutionality and legality of the administrative acts of the public servants, and thus to protect the right and liberty of the citizen from the wrongful acts of the government officials. Types of remedies. There are two types of systems of legal remedies against the unlawful act of government official. One is called the rule of law and other administrative law or droit administration. The former system prevails in USA, England, and Commonwealth countries like India, while the latter prevails chiefly in France, Germany, Sweden. Briefly, we will discuss about them. Rule of law. Theoretically, it means that everybody, high or low, official or private, is subject to the same law. The public administrator is not above the law while performing official duties. Ordinarily, the aggrieved parties shall have all those legal remedies against the offending official, which are known as prerogative rights. Thank you for discussion. We will discuss some other topic.